Hello and welcome to episode 1 of the Mouthbreathing podcast. I'll be your host, TJ. And for this first episode, The Maiden Voyage, I'm just going to kind of give a little introduction to myself, talk about a few things that are on my mind, and hopefully just give a little oversight for what to expect in the future. I'm just going to kind of ramble through it. Probably going to be really bad in the beginning, but with all things, repetitions will increase my skill level. So with that being said, my name is TJ. I'm your host, and there's just a few things that I've been noticing lately that have been that just kind of put me in a bad mood. Not really a bad mood, because I don't want to give rent-free space in my head, but just some things that make me maybe cringe a little, maybe something that will just make me have some preconceived notions on someone. All this to say that, only God can judge me and only God should judge other people, but just a few things that might make me think twice. I'm definitely not someone who should be judging people. I have many flaws and many faults, but maybe not as much as some of the people who do some of these things. Coming at the first thing on my list is people that put their Venmo or their Cash App or really any other way that they want to receive money on their windshield while they drive. Get a fucking job, first of all. Let's set the record straight. Get a fucking job, buddy. All right? I don't care if it's your birthday, if you're the bride. Sometimes it's like, buy the bride a drink, buy the birthday boy a drink, and then their Venmo handle. How about instead of having people buy you drinks, you fucking go on Indeed and get a job? All right? I'm working. I'm not asking for handouts. Why is your life so much easier than mine? All that to say that maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should have my Venmo on my windshield and just drive around pretending like I just got married or it's my birthday. Maybe some people would bless me, right? And now that I kind of think about it, panhandling is kind of like driving around with your Venmo on your windshield, right? Except it's like moving advertisement when it's on a windshield. But, if you're panhandling, you're usually in one set location. So I don't see many differences between the two, really. I think that in a majority of most cases, you could tell the driver of the Venmo windshield car. You could tell the panhandler on the side of the street by the stoplights at the busy intersection. I think you could tell them both to get a freaking job. A job. Okay? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I like to eat what I kill, personally. I think that a lot of people are wanting handouts. I think it's always been like that, but maybe more now than ever. I don't know what the past was like. I'm still a pretty young adult, I have no idea what the past was like, but what I can tell from every old person I've talked to ever is that everything was uphill both ways. Things were a lot cheaper. Maybe that's why they didn't have to put their freaking Venmo on their windshield in the 1960s, because you could get a gallon of milk for $0.25. All I'm saying is that I have never seen an old person with their Venmo on their windshield. This can't be a coincidence. Surely it can't be a coincidence, right? Maybe there's something to that. I don't know. Either way, moral of the story is anytime I see a Venmo on a windshield, a Cash App on a windshield, if you put your PayPal on your windshield, I haven't seen any windshield PayPals, but for the Venmo and the Cash App, I'll be honest, I usually do send them some money. I usually do send the Venmo windshield some money, not with, enough to buy a drink, not with enough to do anything meaningful, really. I really just send it to get them a message. And sometimes I do this to like a celebrity too. If I want to get a message to them, I'll just look up their Venmo. Usually they're pretty easy to find on Venmo. I'm not going to lie. You can usually find a celebrity that you want to get in contact with. You can usually find their Venmo. And you don't have to send them $100. You don't have to send them $1,000. You can just send them a quarter, a penny, a nickel, whatever it might be, just to get them a message. But the Venmo windshield drivers almost always receive some minute amount of money, something to just enough to not do anything with it, just to get them a message. The message is usually, fuck you, get a job. A JOB. It's simple. It's simple, really. I think that in the year 2024, in the year of our Lord 2024, if one of your side hustles, because everyone has many hustles nowadays, right? I mean, you have to. You know how the prices are on things. It's crazy. You need multiple hustles. You need to have your Venmo on at least 3 different cars' windshields if you want to make rent. Isn't that crazy? Our grandparents didn't have to deal with this. And I'm not complaining. I think right now, things are great personally. I think you can do whatever you want in this world. I think anything is possible. The American dream is alive and well. I'm a single child, an only child rather, of a single parent who had to scrape by and worked their tail off to put me through this and that. And I think I learned some of their work ethic. I think I did. I'm down to grind. I know a lot of people are down to grind. I know I could name 10 guys and 10 girls right now that are down to grind, but the Venmo on the windshield is where I draw the line. There's side hustles everywhere, man. I'm telling you, as someone who has been a regular sperm donor for about 2 years, there are side hustles everywhere. The Venmo on your windshield, that is not it, man. Or lady. That is not it, they, them, whatever you want to be. Many other side hustles. We don't need the Venmo on the windshield is the point of this. Speaking of side hustles, it's interesting, I'm 28 right now, and a lot of people that I came up with, they're taking different paths in life, right? Some people are very successful and they have way more money than maybe I will in years to come, and it's good. I love seeing it. I love seeing someone get that shit out the mud, grind, and make it happen. I love it. I draw inspiration from some individuals in my life like that. I really do. The American dream is alive and well. Now, some people are like achieving great levels of success, and it's like, is this really something to be proud of? I mean, my grandma always told me, if you're going to get rich, just do something ethical and be true to yourself, follow your moral compass, this and that, the other. I think when she was telling me that, she wanted to make sure I didn't become a hitman or a drug dealer or something along those lines. All this to say that, to those who succeed and do it in an admirable way, impressive, kudos to you. Thank you for allowing me to draw inspiration off you. Now, some people that I just can't draw inspiration from, regardless of their financial success or any other means of measuring how well off one is. I don't know anyone personally with this path who followed this path, but if you have an OnlyFans, I don't care how much money you're making. You just have, there's just no respect, no self-respect, really. I'm not going to get into that. It's kind of a popular topic to debate. If if your shorty has an OnlyFans, are you down with it if she's making this much money? Fuck no. I would never. Couldn't be me. Now, if you are in a relationship with someone who's achieving success on something like this, well, do you respect yourself? I don't know, man. It's just something about it. Something about it would make me feel indifferent if I knew that my significant other, she, he, they, whatever, was spreading their butt cheeks online for random people to see. That's just not something that I want in my life. And if you have it in your life, I think there's probably a greater underlined issue there. Probably some daddy, mommy abandonment issues. A lot to get into. I'm not the one to get into that, but those are my thoughts on that. I'm 28 years old. I've seen lots of people succeed that I've come up with. I see a lot of people not making it too. But what even is making it? Who am I to judge when they've made it or not made it? If they are happy with their life and they're being true to themselves, well, then I should just F off. It's really as simple as that. I don't need to get into that anymore. But all that to say, it's interesting sitting back and looking at the options for directions people can take in life. You can take notice and not judge them, right? I don't have a notebook full of this person went here, this person went there, but I'll catch up with them at a 10-year reunion or whatever, see what they're up to. If they're happy, maybe they have some kids. That's enough for them. A simple, modest life. I don't know. That's another path a lot of people my age are starting to take, is the kid path. I feel like kind of maybe ties hand in hand with, for me at least, I don't really want kids until I've achieved some more financial success without using OnlyFans, without putting my Venmo or Cash App on my windshield. I want a little more base for the kids. And you know what? They say that there's never a good time. There's never a good time to have kids. And that might be true. But if I can make it a little bit better time, then maybe that's not a bad idea. Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? Like, I could probably go acquire some illicit street drugs, just go downtown somewhere and find one of the panhandlers, and they're really just the same as a Venmo Cash App windshield guy, So I could just go find one of these panhandlers and maybe have them point me in the right direction. But just because I can, that doesn't mean I should. All I'm saying is you're not going to find me having a child soon in the next few years. You're not going to find me having a child probably before 30 at least. And you're not going to find me smoking meth or doing crack or whatever else the Venmo, Cash App, windshield panhandlers might have to offer. It's just not something I'm going to do. But if you do want to have kids, that's great. I think some kids are sick. Some kids are pretty sick, right? Some kids are not very sick, though. And I think I'm kind of worried that my kids they'll grow up to be very sick people, and they'll grow up to be outstanding members of society who contribute and do their part in pushing society forward. But I think my kids are going to be, if they're anything like me, it's going to be some problems right away when they're younger. Maybe some issues here and there. But one thing my kids aren't going to do, have the freaking Cash App on their windshield. That's all I'm going to say about the kids. So some people are getting rich off OnlyFans. Some people are having kids when they maybe shouldn't, or maybe they should have kids and maybe they're not, whatever that might be. Another thing I've started to notice a lot about people my age, they're getting real fat. I'm someone who, although in my adult life I've been in good shape, I've been in moderately good shape since I was like 16, right? I hit puberty very late, had baby fat a lot longer than everyone else. I was also a year younger than everybody in my grade, which really was not, it just wasn't beneficial to be a late bloomer and be a fat child / early teenager. But I kind of feel like the ugly duckling in a way, where as popular, quote unquote, popular kids in the school, maybe we're in much better shape and better standing socially, etc. I've seen some of the cooler kids get fat, man. I don't want to say it's satisfying to see people get fat, but I take notice. It's hard not to notice, really. Listen, if you're fat in America, you're in the majority. If you are fat in America, you're in the majority. That's not your fault. Well, it kind of is, but there's a lot of factors at play. Our foods are crazy how processed they are, how ultra processed they are, really. And, someone who isn't as accountable as they could be might blame the food industry, right? In America, it's crazy how many ingredients are legal here that are totally illegal and banned in other countries. So, it's ultra addictive, ultra this, that. But I just got kind of ultra addicted to not being fat. So I was probably, I would say, obese till like 16 or so. Lost some weight, casually fit, until early mid 20s, 23, 24. I was like, you know what? It would be sick. It would be so sick to be in good shape. And it is sick, right? Totally worth it. Anyways, all this to say, another path you could take could be very successful. You could be not successful. This is all for a 28-year-old's point of view. I feel like when we were, in high school, middle school, whatever, even in college, honestly, I feel like everyone was on pretty even playing field, right? But people have just been taking different paths, as is normal with pretty much anything you do. And some people just chose the fat path, man. Some people chose the path to McDonald's. I've been guilty of choosing the Culver's path a lot more than I should have. But that fat place, that fat town, I don't live there anymore. And I hate to say it, but if you're going to drive on over to Fat Town, you probably have your Venmo on your windshield too. It's just not a path that I'm really down with taking. Didn't want to go too long on this first episode. Just kind of wanted to lay the foundation, give some real general information on everything. And I just wanted to kind of start there. I imagine I won't be doing very many solo episodes really ever. If for some reason maybe there's like a demand in the future, I'd be down to do it. This is definitely a long-term project. I've heard a lot of people have a podcast, and I just know it's going to be a grind. Not even a grind. This shit's going to be fun. I'm just going to do it casually. I'm just going to bring in interesting people in my life and have a long-form discussion with them. So yeah, the future plans you can expect, maybe like an episode a week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I should probably do a little more. We'll say 1 to 2 episodes every 1 to 2 weeks. How about that? Maybe some days I'll do 2 in a week. Maybe some days I'll go crazy and do like 3 or 4 in a week. Still kind of trying to figure everything out here. I'm going to try and keep some consistency. I have a few people in my life that I do want to have on here. I just needed to drop this first solo episode to just kind of, lay the framework, really. So now that this one's done, I'm going to see what we can do to get this edited and hopefully get it online here and get the gravy train rolling, man. One thing I did want to mention is usually I'll probably be a little more put together in terms of this hair. In terms of, I'm kind of greasy right now. I'll probably be a little more showered. I was doing manual labor pretty much all day for about 8 hours or so. So just came right here to do this. Wanted to get it pumping, get that stuff out there, This is the Mouth Breathing Podcast. And I will be your host, TJ. I'm really excited for this. I really am excited for this. Next time, who will the guest be? Shit, I don't know. When will it be? Maybe even this week. Probably will be this week. All right. I'm tuning out. I'll see you on episode 2.